Hello everyone. So here is, let's say we are given a linear function of some sort. So let's say f of x is equal to 2x plus 3. And let's say our job is to try to determine the inverse function of this. Well, to determine the inverse function of this, the first thing we would like to identify is what is our input and what is our output. Well, our input is the x here, and our output is the y, and you obtain the y by doubling and then adding a 3. Well, when you are doing an inverse process, then this inverse process right here entails you to switch around your inputs and outputs. So this becomes this, because your input becomes your output and your output becomes your input. And of course, now this is the new output of this function right there, the inverse function. So we need to solve this for y to be able to determine the nature of this new function. So since I want to isolate the 2y, that means I need somehow to get rid of this 3, so I subtract 3 from both sides. I end up with 2y being equal to x minus 3. Of course, I would like to have only the y, so from this I can divide both sides by 2, so I end up with y equals x minus 3 divided by 2. Therefore, our inverse function then is, in this instance, x minus 3 over 2. What we need to bear in mind is the fact that this x here and this x here, which are the inputs for this inverse function, are actually the outputs or the y value of this old function there. So we need to keep that in mind. And the actual result here, meaning this output here, believe it or not, is the old input right there. Okay? So that's how you determine the value of this. So let's do an example with numbers, for instance. So we said that the original function f of x is 2x plus 3. And we made the claim that inverse f of x is equal to x minus 3 divided by 2. So let's take this first function here, and we'll make a little table of values for it. So in this case, we're going to have x and f of x. So when x is equal, for instance, to 0, 0 times 2, that's 0, plus 3, that would give us 3. If, on the other hand, let's say, for example, x is equal to negative 1, then negative 1 times 2, that's negative 2, plus 3, that would give us positive 1. Now, what this means, my friends, is that, remember, we replaced the inputs and the outputs, or we exchanged the inputs and the outputs. So I'm going to use this purple color to indicate if I use these now as the x values for this function, then I should end up as an answer of this, as an output, each one of these two values, the 0 and the negative 1. So let's do that. So let's make a table of values, x inverse f of x. So at this point, let's substitute 3. So 3 minus 3, that's 0, 0 divided by 2, 0. Lo and behold, that's the very value that we got over there. And if we substitute 1, then 1 minus 3, that's negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 2, that's negative 1. Lo and behold, that's exactly the same. No cool. As far as I'm concerned, it's all cool, man.